It was a sweltering afternoon on June 13, 2019, in the quiet Lohia village of Meerut district, Uttar Pradesh. Eshwar Pandit, a 40-year-old farmer, was doing his routine check of the vast sugarcane fields. The air was thick and still. Suddenly, he heard a rustling sound nearby. He paused, listening intently. Footsteps. Then, a dog emerged from the dense stalks. It was carrying something in its mouth. As the dog came closer, Eshwar's blood ran cold. What the animal held was unmistakably human. It was a hand severed just below the wrist. The sight was horrifying. The hand was partially decomposed, a grim testament to a terrible act. Eshwar immediately alerted other workers in the field. Panic spread quickly. They knew this was not a natural occurrence. The police were called without delay. Law enforcement arrived swiftly, securing the area. A forensic team was dispatched to the scene. Their initial examination confirmed the worst. The hand belonged to a woman. This was the first crucial piece of information in what would become a complex and disturbing case. As the forensic experts worked, they noticed something else on the hand. A tattoo. Inked onto the skin was a single name, Aman. This tattoo became the primary clue. It was a personal mark, a potential link to the victim's identity or someone significant in her life. The police knew they needed to find the rest of the body. A specialized dog squad was brought in to search the extensive fields. The dogs, trained to detect human remains, began their grim task. They worked tirelessly through the heat and the thick vegetation. Their efforts yielded results, but the findings were horrific. The dogs led investigators to not one, but 3 separate burial sites within the fields. Each site contained dismembered human remains. Head, torso, limbs. The victim's body had been brutally cut apart and buried in pieces. The condition of the body parts was poor. They were heavily decomposed, making immediate identification impossible. The scene was one of calculated brutality. The recovered remains were transported for a full autopsy. The medical examination provided vital details about the victim and her death. Based on the physical characteristics, the victim was estimated to be around 20 years old, a young life tragically cut short. The autopsy revealed the cause of death. The victim had first been given sleeping pills, likely to incapacitate her. Following this, she was strangled. This indicated a deliberate, planned killing, not a crime of sudden passion. Crucially, the mutilation of the body occurred after death. This was not part of the killing itself, but an act performed afterward, perhaps to conceal identity or dispose of the remains. Based on the state of decomposition, forensic pathologists estimated the time of death. The victim had likely been killed about a week before her body parts were discovered. The investigation now had a timeline and a method, but the most critical question remained unanswered. Who was this young woman? For 6 agonizing months, the victim remained unidentified. Her face was unknown, her story untold. The tattoo Aman offered a clue, but it wasn't enough to pinpoint her identity. Investigators pursued leads based on missing persons reports in the local area and surrounding districts, but none matched the description or the circumstances. The case seemed to stall, becoming another cold file among many. The hope of giving the victim her name back began to fade. Then a breakthrough finally came. It originated not from Uttar Pradesh, but from hundreds of kilometers away in Ludhiana, Punjab. A missing person report filed there caught the attention of investigators. The details seemed to align with the unknown victim. The report was for a young woman named Ekta Deshwal. Could this be her? To confirm, DNA samples were taken from the recovered remains. These were compared with DNA samples provided by Ekta Deshwal's family. The results were conclusive. The DNA matched. The unidentified victim found dismembered in the sugarcane field was confirmed to be Ekta Deshwal. After 6 months of anonymity, Ekta finally had her name back. But her identification only deepened the mystery and opened the door to a story of profound deception. Ekta Deshwal was a young woman with a bright future. She was a devout BCom student, focused on her studies and her family. Her life took a fateful turn when she met a man while working part-time in a shop in Ludhiana. He introduced himself as Aman. Aman was charming and attentive. He quickly won Ekta's affection. Their relationship blossomed, seemingly built on love and trust. However, Aman was not who he claimed to be. His real name was Shakib Ahmed. He was deliberately hiding his true identity from Ekta. Shakib maintained the elaborate deception, posing as a different name as Aman. He knew Ekta's family would likely disapprove of a relationship with an unknown man. Ekta, deeply in love and believing in Aman's false identity, made a life-altering decision. Against her family's wishes, she decided to elope with him. Before leaving, Ekta took a significant amount of money and jewelry from her home. This included approximately 15 lakhs in cash and 25 lakhs worth of jewelry. She believed she was starting a new life with the man she loved, the man named Aman. She had no idea of the web of lies she was stepping into. Ekta and Shakib, or Aman as she knew him, traveled to Meerut. There, they went through a marriage ceremony in a temple. Ekta was fully committed to this new life, and the man she believed was her husband. As a symbol of her devotion, she even had his name, Aman, tattooed onto her body. This was the same tattoo found on the severed hand. Their life together began, but the foundation was built on deceit. Shakib continued to hide his true identity and his family from Ekta. As time passed, Ekta grew increasingly insistent. She wanted to meet Aman's family. She wanted their marriage to be recognized and accepted. This desire became a major point of conflict between them. Shakib resisted, making excuses, unable or unwilling to reveal the truth. Ekta's insistence put immense pressure on Shakib. His carefully constructed facade was beginning to crumble. He faced the potential exposure of his deception to Ekta and possibly her family. The conflict escalated. Ekta's trust was being tested, though she likely still didn't grasp the full extent of the lies. Shakib saw Ekta's demand to meet his family as an insurmountable problem. It threatened to expose everything. Instead of confessing or finding another way, Shakib made a horrifying choice. He decided to silence Ekta permanently. He administered sleeping pills to her, just as the autopsy revealed. Then he strangled her, ending her life and his problem. After killing her, he dismembered her body, likely in a desperate attempt to conceal the crime and prevent identification. He buried the pieces in the sugarcane field, hoping they would never be found. But the discovery of the hand carried by a dog brought his dark secret to light. The tattoo, a symbol of Ekta's love and commitment to the man she knew as Aman, ultimately became a key piece of evidence leading to her identification and the unraveling of Shakib's crime. The case of Ekta Deshwal is a tragic reminder of the dangers of hidden identities and deception in relationships. It highlights how a foundation built on lies can lead to devastating consequences. Ekta's search for love and acceptance ended in betrayal and murder, a somber tale unearthed from the quiet fields of Uttar Pradesh. Follow, like, subscribe, and press the bell icon for more crime incidents.